How's it going, everyone? This is Tom with Jailbreaking Nation. Today we're going to be taking a look at a gaming comparison between the Nexus 4, which I have here, and the iPhone 5. If you're wondering why my backdrop looks a little bit different, this is because these clips were sent by RJH Blog, an awesome channel. I'll link it down in the description. He makes really cool Android content, so go ahead and check it out. First of all, we have Riptide GP running on the Nexus 4, and as you can see, here it is, a very graphically intensive game, and it's one of the ones I go to generally when I'm wanting to test out performance of handsets and things like that. So just very useful for all-round 3D rendering and things like that, just to get a decent frame rate perspective. Seems to be running perfectly fine. As you can know, this is not me in the video, so I can't test the actual frame rate of being there, and due to the frame rate of this video, it's going to be slightly different, but it doesn't look like there's any noticeable lag. And now we have the iPhone 5, we're also running Riptide GP, and the frame rate here is pretty insane actually. It's one of the best games I've actually seen running on the iPhone 5, and it best shows off its performance. The graphics render very quickly, the frames are beautiful, no drop frames whatsoever, and to be honest, it looks very similar to the Nexus 4. I can't really judge the Nexus 4's performance wholly because I haven't actually used one yet, but from what I can tell from the video which I've been supplied, it does look pretty great and definitely keeps up with the iPhone 5 and vice versa. Now we have Temple Run on the Nexus 4. Now as you can tell, this is obviously not as graphically intensive as Riptide GP, but it's still quite a tap and swipe demanding game, which means it's got to have a lot of inputs going to it, which is a good test of how much processing power the actual phone has. The Nexus 4 does benchmark quite a lot higher, around about 1900 on Geekbench, which is really good and higher than the iPhone 5. However, that's not everything, and the gaming performance on both devices is really stellar, it seems. Now we'll switch over to the iPhone, as the Nexus 4 seems to be holding up with Temple Run just as easy as it did with Riptide. And once again, here's the iPhone with Temple Run running. And as you can see, there isn't really that much between the two devices, and that's going to be the general consensus. Both are very powerful, and if you're going to be doing a lot of gaming, either one is going to do you fine, so it's really dependent on what platform you want to choose. iOS, of course, has more games and more apps available for it, really, in all honesty. However, the Nexus is a little bit more powerful, so if you are going to want really intensive games and lots of games on your phone, you may want to go with the Nexus, but again, only if you're wanting Android. So there we go, that's a gaming comparison between the Nexus 4 and the iPhone 5, arguably two of the biggest hyped smartphones this year, so definitely give this video a thumbs up. Also check out Richard's channel down below in the description or linked in the annotations. Let me know what you think down in the comments. This has been Tom with Jailbreaking Nation.